Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fluento, everyday English for real life. I'm Anna, feeling calm, cozy, and very ready for today's conversation.
And I'm David, as always, excited to be here with you. I've got my tea, my notebook, and honestly, Anna, I think today's topic is one that every single listener in every country experiences.
Absolutely. It's one of those universal topics. Today, we're talking about money.
Money, money, money. In English, in real life, in everyday situations. How we use it, how we save it, what words we use to talk about it. And don't worry, we're not here to stress you out. We want to make this topic warm, simple, and helpful.
Money can feel big, right? Complicated, emotional. But when you talk about it in clear, everyday English, suddenly you feel more in control. You understand more. You feel calmer.
And really, Anna, when you understand the language, you often understand the world better. I think about when I moved to another country and suddenly had to talk about money in a new language, opening a bank account, understanding rent contracts, even simple things like buying a bus ticket.
Yes, those are such real examples. And for our listeners, that's exactly why we're doing this episode. We want you to feel confident talking about money in English. Not because money is everything, but because money touches everything.
Exactly, and we'll teach you naturally as we talk, just like two friends having coffee.
So let's start with something simple. Spending. Everyone spends money. Every single day. It's normal. It's part of life.
Right. I mean, this morning I spent money on the bus. I tapped my card and ding, there goes $3.
And I spent money on groceries yesterday. Just the basics. Bread, milk, vegetables.
Fun little cultural point. I noticed when I lived in Europe, people pay for groceries with cash more often. But in the US, almost everyone uses cards.
That's true. And for our listeners, this is a great vocabulary moment because to spend is such a common verb.
Yes, and I like to tell learners, spend on is your friend. You spend money on food, on clothes, on transportation, on your phone bill.
Exactly. And pronunciation tip, many learners say spending, but forget the D in spent.
Right, the past tense. I spent money yesterday. The T is sharp, quick.
It's like a tiny tap. Spent.
You know, Anna, this reminds me of something I learned in school. My teacher always said there are two kinds of things we spend money on: needs and wants.
Ah, yes. Those are such foundational words. Needs, wants. And they're beautiful because they're simple but powerful.
A need is something you must have: food, water, a place to live.
And a want is something that feels good, something you enjoy, but it's not essential for survival.
Like buying a fancy coffee instead of making coffee at home.
Or buying the newest phone when your current phone works perfectly fine.
And I think in English conversations, people use these words emotionally too. For example, I really want that jacket has a different feeling from I need a new jacket because my old one is broken.
Exactly. And for our listeners, here's something important. When you're talking about money, English speakers often say, "Do I really need this? Or do I just want it?" It's a gentle self-check.
And English has a funny expression, my wallet says no.
Yes, that's a good one. It means I want it, but I can't afford it right now.
And afford is a great verb. It means you have enough money to pay for something.
Right. I can afford it means yes, I can pay for it. I can't afford it means no, not today.
I remember when I was younger and living alone, I used that sentence a lot. I can't afford it. especially when friends invited me to restaurants.
I think many people relate to that. You know, this reminds me of something from my childhood. My parents used to give me a little weekly allowance, maybe $5. Not much, but enough for a small chocolate or something fun.
Oh, I love these stories.
One day, I wanted a toy that cost $10. And I thought, I have $5, so I can buy it. But my mom said, no, Anna, you need $10. How much do you have? And I said, 5. And she said, so how many weeks do you need to wait? And I remember sitting there counting on my fingers, 1 week, 2 weeks. And that was the first moment I understood saving.
That is such a relatable moment. I had something similar. I wanted a skateboard, but I didn't have enough money. My dad told me if you save a little every week, you'll be surprised how fast it adds up.
And add up is such a useful phrasal verb. It means small amounts become big over time.
Exactly. And I swear every adult has one memory like this, the moment they realized money is not magic.
Yes, that it doesn't just appear because you want something.
So that brings us to something that a lot of adults struggle with, even native speakers, and that is making a budget.
A budget is simply a plan for your money. That's it. People make it sound complicated, but it's not.
Money in, money out.
Exactly. Money coming to you, your income, money leaving you, your expenses.
I feel like when people hear the word budget, they imagine some huge spreadsheet with formulas.
But beginners, and honestly many native speakers, often start with something as simple as a notebook.
I did. When I first moved out, I used a tiny notebook where I wrote rent, groceries, bus, coffee, phone bill.
And that's the beauty of it. A budget is not a punishment. It's not a restriction. It's information, a mirror.
Oh, that's a good metaphor. A mirror for your money.
When you see your money clearly, you feel calmer. You feel more control.
And this is something I want our listeners to hear. Budgeting is not about removing joy from your life. It's about understanding your life.
Yes, understanding your habits, your needs, your wants.
Your goals.
Goals. We'll talk about those in a moment.
You know, what's interesting is how different cultures think about money. For example, when I worked in Japan, people saved a lot. Many people put a part of their salary into savings the moment they received it.
That's a beautiful habit. Paying your future self first.
Meanwhile, in the U.S., people often spend first and then save what's left, if anything is left.
And in many European countries, using cash is still strong because it helps people feel the money physically.
When you pay with cash, you see the money go away. It's emotional.
Honestly, sometimes when I use cash, I spend less because I don't want to see the bills disappear.
Same.
Let's give our listeners a small set of very helpful verbs that come up in every money conversation.
Yes, like a natural vocabulary snack.
Spend, give money to buy something. Save, keep money for later. Cost, the amount you need to pay for something. Earn, the money you receive from work. Afford, to have enough money for something.
And my favorite phrase, how much is it? So simple, so essential.
And pronunciation tip, the word cost has a soft T. It's not costa, it's just cost.
Sometimes learners say coast, like the seaside, but cost rhymes slightly with lost.
Exactly. Lost, cost. That's a great pair.
So Anna, let's talk about saving, because many people feel like saving is impossible.
I understand that feeling. It can feel heavy, But the truth is, saving doesn't start with big actions. It starts with tiny ones.
For example, making coffee at home instead of buying it every day.
Bringing lunch from home instead of buying takeout.
Using a shopping list so you don't buy unnecessary things.
Yes, a shopping list is magical. It keeps you focused.
And something I love doing is what I call a no-spend day. One day a week where I try not to spend any money at all.
Oh, that's so good. And it's also like a game.
Exactly. I tell myself, let's see if I can do this. And sometimes I fail, but it's okay.
A budget, saving, all of this is not about perfection. It's about awareness.
And that brings us to the most emotional part of money, goals.
Goals make saving meaningful. Instead of thinking, I can't buy this, you think, I'm saving for something I love.
For example, a vacation, a computer, a new bike, a special gift, or even an emergency fund.
I remember when I was saving for my first international trip, I had a picture of Paris on my wall, and every time I didn't buy something unnecessary, I felt like I was walking one step closer to that picture.
That's beautiful. I think visual goals really help people. If listeners want a tip, print out a picture of your goal. Put it on your desk, on your fridge, in your wallet.
When you see your goal every day, the small sacrifices feel exciting, not painful.
And I love the idea of having a goal jar. A simple jar where you put extra coins or extra small bills.
Yes, it works for children and adults, and the sound of coins dropping in the jar is so satisfying.
And the moment you open it, months later, oh, it's magical, like finding treasure.
You know, David, money is practical, but it's also emotional.
Very emotional. It's connected to safety, dreams, stress, freedom, identity.
And many learners tell me they feel embarrassed talking about money in English because they don't know the vocabulary.
And that's why we're here, to show that you can talk about money using simple, clear words. You don't need advanced vocabulary to express your reality.
Exactly. Even words like need, want, cost, save, they're simple and they're powerful.
And when you control your words, you begin to control your money story.
That's beautiful, David.
Sometimes I say something wise. So, Anna, we talked about saving goals and the emotional side of money. And I actually thought of something that happened to me last year that connects perfectly.
Oh, I love these real-life stories. What happened?
Well, last year I wanted to buy a new laptop. Not because my old one was broken, it was just slow. And I really wanted the new one. The shiny screen, the fast processor, all the exciting features.
I know that feeling. The temptation.
Exactly. But then I looked at my budget and realized that if I bought it right away, I would have almost no money left for emergencies. And that made me uncomfortable.
That's a great example of emotional intelligence with money, understanding not just the numbers, but how the numbers make you feel.
Yes. And here's the interesting part. I waited 3 months. I saved a little extra each month, and by the time I had enough, something funny happened.
Let me guess, you didn't even want the laptop anymore?
Exactly. I realized my old one was fine. I was chasing the idea of new, but not something I really needed.
I love that. It's a perfect example of the English idiom, sleep on it.
Yes, that idiom means to wait before making a decision. Think about it for a day or two. Don't rush.
It's such a helpful expression when talking about money. I'll sleep on it. It sounds so calm and responsible.
And peaceful.
You know, a lot of people have this moment, the aha moment, where they realize exactly where their money is going. And it's usually surprising.
Oh, yes. Mine happened when I calculated how much I spent on snacks.
Snacks?
Snacks, cookies, chips, all those little things you buy when you're a bit hungry. I didn't think it was a big deal, but when I wrote it down, I realized it was more than my monthly phone bill.
Wow! And that is the magic of writing things down. A budget is not about saying, don't spend. It's about seeing reality.
Seeing clearly, like turning on the light in a dark room.
I love that image. And I think for our listeners, this is so important. You don't have to change everything. Just knowing where your money goes. That already gives you power.
Because once you know, you can choose. And choosing is freedom.
Before we move on, let's give our listeners a few natural expressions native speakers use all the time.
Yes, the ones you hear in real conversations.
Like, I'm trying to cut back. This means I'm trying to spend less.
Or, I'm on a budget. This means I'm trying to control my spending.
Another one, I'm saving up for... For example, I'm saving up for a trip.
A very natural one is, it's a bit pricey. It means it's a little expensive, but in a soft, polite way.
Yes, and the opposite is, it's a good deal, meaning the price is good.
And a funny one, I'm broke, meaning I have no money right now. Very casual, very common among friends.
But not something you say in a job interview.
Definitely not.
This reminds me of something. Have you noticed how people from different cultures feel differently about spending?
Absolutely. For example, in some cultures, eating out at restaurants is considered a luxury, something you do on special occasions.
Yes, but in many big cities, especially in the US, eating out is part of everyday life. People grab coffee, lunch, dinner, constantly.
And that affects your budget. When I lived in Germany, for example, people cooked at home a lot more. Restaurants are a treat.
And in many Asian cultures, people save more of their income because the idea of financial safety is very strong.
And I love how in some cultures, money is considered private, something you don't talk about openly. In others, people discuss salaries, prices, budgets very directly.
That's such a good point. For our listeners, understanding these cultural styles can help you feel more comfortable when talking about money in English. Because sometimes people aren't being rude, they're just from a culture that talks more openly. Speaking of openness, I want to tell you something personal. When I was younger, I had a big problem with saying no to social invitations.
Oh, I can relate.
If friends invited me to dinner, I always said yes, even when I didn't really have the money. I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I didn't want to seem boring or cheap.
So many people feel that way.
One day, after a dinner I couldn't afford, I sat at home and felt stressed. And I thought, why is this so hard? Why can't I say no? And then I practiced a simple sentence. I'd love to, but it's not in my budget this month.
That's such a gentle, honest sentence.
Yes, kind, clear. And no one ever responded badly. They always said, oh, of course, let's do something cheaper instead.
That's the beautiful thing. Once you start talking honestly about money, life becomes lighter.
And for learners, that sentence is golden. It's polite and natural.
Can we talk about small habits that changed our lives?
Yes, I have one. I started doing something very simple. Every time I got my paycheck, I transferred a small part automatically into a savings account.
Before you spent anything?
Yes, that's called paying yourself first. And it made such a difference. I didn't even notice the money was gone.
That's actually a famous principle in personal finance books. But I remember learning the same thing from my grandmother in a much simpler form.
Oh, what did she say?
She told me, When you receive money, keep a little for the future you.
That's so sweet.
My grandmother didn't read financial books, but she understood saving from life experience.
I love that. Simple English, simple wisdom.
I think we should also talk about bank vocabulary. Not in a boring way, just enough to help listeners feel confident.
Yes, because opening a bank account, talking to a banker, or even reading your online banking app can feel confusing if English isn't your first language.
Let's make it painless.
A checking account, or current account in some countries, this is the account you use for everyday spending, money in, money out.
A savings account. This is where you keep money you don't want to spend.
Deposit means put money in. Withdraw means take money out.
And here's a phrase you'll hear often. Minimum balance. That means the minimum amount you need to keep in the account.
Another one, monthly fee. Some banks charge you every month just for having the account.
And fee is such an important word. It means a small cost for a service.
In English, fee is used everywhere. Bank fees, late fees, service fees.
Once you understand that word, life becomes easier.
You know, David, the more we talk about this, the more I realize something. Money is really not about numbers. It's about feelings.
Yes, it's about security, freedom, confidence, stress, hope.
And when you learn how to talk about money in English, simply, clearly, you feel smarter, stronger, more capable.
I've seen this with students. The moment they can say, "This costs too much," or "I'm saving for something," they feel empowered.
Because English is not just a language, it's a tool. And when you use it to understand your own life, everything becomes easier.
Before we close, I want to say something to our listeners. You might feel like money is a difficult topic. You might feel stressed about budgeting or embarrassed about not knowing some words, but you're not alone.
Not at all. Everyone in every country at every age learns about money step by step. Nobody starts as an expert.
And you're already doing something powerful. You're learning to talk about money in English. That's huge.
If you understand words like spend, save, cost, need, want, budget, you already have the tools you need.
So here's your small challenge for this week. Talk about money in English, even a simple sentence. Tell a friend, "I'm saving for something." Or write in your notebook, "This is what I spent today."
Small actions, big impact.
And we'd truly love to hear from you. What are you saving for? A trip? Something special? Maybe something practical?
Write it in English. Tell us. Your story matters.
And remember, progress is not about perfection. It's about awareness, a little more awareness each day.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. We hope you feel inspired, calmer, and more confident, not only about English, but also about your relationship with money.
Until next time, everyone, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep believing in your future self.
Goodbye, dear listeners.
Take care, and see you in the next episode.